Well, at our house, it happens every day at 6:30 sharp. And then it runs for about 12 hours and turns off. 6:30 the next morning, it turns back on. And I'm telling you, it's really relaxing and comforting and soothing when it happens. What I'm talking about is this really beautiful little glass church that has sparkles in it, glitter in it. The fan blows it up and it flows all over. I love this thing. So I wanted to kick it on here and just show you why we like it so much. I sit there and wait for it to turn on sometimes. Can you all see this? Thank you, Dottie, for that. It came from Dottie. And I never get tired of watching that light. This light is something wonderful, especially when it's fun light. So there's something powerful about light. The theme today, is, of course, light. The Bible says, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Nor does anyone light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. Let your light shine before men in such a way that they may see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven." So light has many beneficial functions other than just lighting up the room like this. This serves several functions I have told you. It's comforting and soothing and interesting. And light is just wide in its spectrum of blessings. First, light allows us to see. You walk into a darkened room and let's call it just pitch black. You can't see anything. But turn on a light or just light a candle or something and the darkness flees. Darkness has no substance, has no energy, has no power, cannot do anything to us. So when light comes, it has power and energy and substance, and light kicks darkness out every time. You can see details, we can see color, we can see shapes. We can see the pathway ahead of us. We'll walk with a flashlight, maybe we can see where we're going and if there's anything to trip over out there. In the light, we can see when somebody tries to snag our piece of pie at the potluck. We can read when it's light. Unless you're an owl or can read Braille, you don't read in the darkness. Light shows ships at sea where the shoals lie. Light prevents stubbing your toe on a table leg and hopping around like a jackrabbit on steroids. I'm not talking about you. She stubbed her toe the other day. There are times when being able to see is essential to good health. For instance, a doctor uses a light to look in your ear or in your nose, and hopefully the ear first. An optometrist will shine a light into your eye to see if there's any sight-damaging problems back there. And so we're called to be light. The world is submerged in darkness. Darkness of superstition, which leads to various cultic and occultic things like spiritualism, seances, witchcraft, psychic advisors. I'll call them psychopathic advisors, and fortune tellers. The word is darkness of secularism, which is an anti-God, anti-Bible, anti-Christ view. But secularism would destroy Christianity if it could. It's also the proliferation of illegal narcotics, and it just amazes me how people keep taking this fentanyl when they see their friends dying all around them. But that's the darkness. Violent acts are being performed by children, 9 to 12, every day. I get a news flash on my smartphone that says another 11-year-old girl shot her mother or whatever. So I'm telling you, it's a dark world, and we're supposed to be light in it. Let me tell you a story that illustrates the necessity of light for sight. There's a drawbridge across the river, and the drawbridge would open many times. There's a lot of ships going up and down the river, so the drawbridge would open. And at nighttime, there's supposed to be a fella standing at the end of the bridge with a lantern. And if he holds the lantern still, it means that the truck's okay to go through. And if he's swinging it, it means that the drawbridge's up and you can't go through there. Well, a train comes along, and the guy's swinging his lantern, but the train just zoomed off the end of the bridge and into the river. So everybody's wondering who was at fault with this, and of course the lantern swinger got the blame. He was accused of that and put on trial. After 6 months of hung juries, his lawyer decided to call the lantern swinger to the stand. And he said, "What's your name?" And he said, "Reuben Schmidt." Where were you early on Friday morning in question? And he said, "I was at my post." "Did you see the train coming?" And he said, "Yes, I did." "Were you drunk?" "No, sir, I never drink." "Then tell the court what happened when you saw the train coming. Did you or did you not swing your lantern?" A hush fell over the courtroom, and strangely, the man kind of stammered a little bit, and he said, "Yes, I did swing the lantern." The jury believed him, and he was acquitted. So at the end of the trial, when everybody left except the lawyer and the defendant, the lawyer said, "I've been defending you for 6 months. I worked day and night, hardly seen my wife or children. You told me you were innocent, but you acted like you hesitated like a guilty man." The lantern swinger looked at the attorney and said, "Well, you asked the wrong question. You asked if I swung my lantern. I did, but you forgot to ask if the lantern was lit." So we have to be light bearers, swing those lanterns. Secondly, light has healing properties. The therapeutic powers of light are amazing. Light therapy, I didn't know light would do this much. Light therapy helps wounds to heal by stimulating cellular activity, enhancing blood flow, reducing inflammation, promoting collagen production, pain relief, and accelerates overall healing. So next time you get we shine some light on it. Laser beams are used to perform certain delicate and precise surgeries. Now, not only is light helpful with physical afflictions like wounds and other things that need to happen, but it's beneficial for individuals suffering from seasonal affective disorder, or SAD, or other mood disorders. Light has a way of changing our mood, and especially those of us who occasionally experience some depression understand that light has a big impact on that. Vitamin D, sunshine vitamin D. During exposure to sunlight, the skin absorbs the UVB radiation, and it's converted into vitamin D3 eventually. It provides numerous health benefits, bone health, muscle function, immune support, mood regulation, cardiovascular health, potential cancer prevention, and diabetes management. Now, the world needs to have light shining on it because it's sick. It's wounded. It's wounded morally, ethically, philosophically, and spiritually. Here's what God said about the world. The Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great on the earth, and that every intent of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Jeremiah said the heart is more deceitful than all else and is desperately sick. Who can understand it? In Matthew we read, "For out of the heart come evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, fornications, theft, false witness, slanders." That's Jesus' word on it. Back in the late 60s, Marlene and I were on our first pastorate at Malala. And the church had a parsonage right next to the church, and it was really a nice place. It had 2 bathrooms. One of them was, I'll call bathroom 2, was very dimly lighted. Bathroom 1 was really, really nice one, but if somebody was using bathroom 1 and I had to shave, I would shave sometimes in bathroom 2. And it was like shaving in the dark. So finally that bulb burned out. I took it out and I saw a 15-watt bulb. So I put in a 60-watt, made a whole lot. I always felt kind of down and depressed when I went into that room. Didn't like to go in there. But let a little light come along and things changed. Thirdly, light stimulates energy. Without light, I think it's safe to say life itself would be basically impossible. During photosynthesis, light energy shines on plants and is converted into chemical energy, which creates chlorophyll, which converts carbon dioxide into oxygen. That's really good news for those who like to breathe fresh air. During the photovoltaic effect, electricity is created in solar. I like to use big words like that. It impresses my wife. Besides, I have to dig out and find out what it means. But during this effect, electricity is released and stimulated in solar cells. And you probably use one yourself on flashlights or portable radios or but a lot of things that are charged by solar cells. It's been shown that light can increase energy to workers that work better. If you're working in the workplace, the light helps you to be more energetic and more thorough in your work. The energy of light that we're to shed as the church, when the church lights up, the energy of love, compassion, kindness, generosity, helpfulness, and service are induced in those upon whom the light shines. Take time to study the Gospels, find out what Jesus, the light of the world, has to say. The energy of light helps the world to see the difference between right and wrong. And there is a right and there is a wrong. Helps us see the difference between truth and lies. And there's truth and there are lies. Sin and righteousness. And there is sin and there is righteousness. And light helps us to understand the distinction between those. The story is told of an elderly widow. She lived out in the country in the early days before everybody had electricity, and it was just a coming thing. She was not interested. In her home, she was used to a wood stove for cooking and heating the house, and she would use candles or lanterns to light the place up. Why would she need electricity? Well, in time, her children convinced her to have electricity installed, which she did kind of grudgingly. But after the first billing period, the electric company noticed that she was hardly using any electricity at all. So they sent a representative out to see if everything was okay, if things were working right. And they discovered that what she would do is turn on the electric lights long enough to trim the wick of her lantern. So she has all this opportunity for light, but she preferred the lantern. So this illustrates the attitude and action of the ungodly world, which is perfectly content to leave the light out. It's the failure of the church to shine in the darkness of the world. And there is light to be had, and there is light to be shared. Jesus tells us to be light of the world. Let the world see our good works and give us credit. No, he said, let your works be seen to glorify God. That's when you let your good works for Jesus shine, you're being the church lit up. If you've never been baptized by immersion, full body baptism, the time may be running out for you. Encourage you not to delay, but come down if you wish to make that decision, and we'll set up time to just talk about what that all means. If you have passed through the watery grave and would like to make this church your home church, we would welcome you if you just come down and let us know, and we'll all benefit and be blessed by that. If you need prayer, we ask you to come down as well to the front pews here, and the elders will gather around you and pray with you and pray for you. So please come, whatever decision if you have to make, or if you need any need you have, would you come as we sing Jesus, I Come. And as you sing it to Jesus.